for Crossroads Football Live with Sports Director Gino Perez and Sports Reporter Zach Brown. Crossroads Football Live is sponsored by Palace Bingo, Frost Bank, Full Pep, Victoria Dodge Jeep Ram Wagoneer, and Victoria College.
Howdy, Crossroads, and welcome to Week 10 of Crossroads Football Live. Only one more week until the postseason. I'm Gino Perez, and of course, I'll be your host. Starting off, we check in with sports reporter Zach Brown, who was all over the place today, but now he's at Memorial Stadium for the game of the week between the West Warriors and the Miller Buccaneers. And this game is still going on. Zach, tell us the latest.
Yeah, well, we had this happen earlier in the year when Edna and Refugio played each other. Normally, this is a time of the night where we hear from the head coach and an athlete, but the game is still going on, and usually when that happens, that means that there's a lot of offense. Now, we told you guys at 6 p.m. that Miller's offense is absolutely unbelievable. They've scored 50-plus points in their last 6 games, except for one game. That was when they scored 49. Now, unfortunately here, even though it is a high-scoring game, it is in favor of Miller. Miller is leading 49-38 with 4.5 minutes left to go in the fourth. Victoria West has caught a huge break. Miller almost put the dagger in him just now, but a holding call brought it all the way back. Now, here's something interesting, and I want to thank Brother Gary Moses for dropping this bit of information on me. I was out in Cuero for the first half, so I got here, and Brother Gary gave me the in-depth analysis. Both teams had the ball 5 times in the first half. Each team scored 4 times, the difference being Victoria West had a field goal. Now, obviously, field goals isn't going to cut it against the Miller Buccaneers, who are undefeated in district and obviously in first place. If Victoria West was able, and they still could, if they are able, I should correct that, to get the win, they would be in a 3-way tie for first place. They are going to need a bit of heroics tonight, but right now, Miller just running the ball down their throats and really taking the time of possession away. Victoria West needs big stops. We'll update you guys in about 10 to 15 minutes. Reporting live, Zach Brown, KVU TV 25, News Now Sports.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, I was at that game earlier today, and it was so pivotal because playoff seeding is going to mean everything, and it's a potential district title for Miller. The Miller head coach, he becomes the winningest head coach in school history if they go on to win this game. Victoria West coming out proud, and that's the head coach for Miller there, looking on, trying to see if his team can pull out the victory, holding on for 5 more minutes. West's first drive was a good one, including this pitch and catch to Zorian Barfield for a big game before finally being brought down inside the 20. But like Zach said, a field goal would be all that they could come up with, and that is not going to cut it. Miller on the offensive side of the ball, Broderick Taylor, he gets the rock and does what he's done all season long, which is find the end zone. This one from 50-plus yards out to take a 7-3 lead. West trying to come out with some more points on this drive, and Repper dodging, getting away from a defender and tossing it over the field to Jared Swanson, who scampers his way in for the touchdown. West would decide to go for 2, and they would get it. Score now 11-7, West in the lead. Miller in West territory. Trevor Long connects to Ethan Baya on a crossing route for the score. It's 14-11. West tricks the entire defense, including myself, and Kamari Montgomery takes it to the house to put West up again, 18-14 in the first quarter. On a 4th and goal, Miller runs a screen route, and Corey Holmes hops his way into the end zone to take the lead. This one was changing back and forth, and like Zach said, 49-32, about 5 minutes left in that one. East and West, I already can announce it now. It's going to be the game of the week. We don't know how the final seeding will be, but no matter what, all these 4 teams will make the playoffs, including Veterans Memorial. But East has a big opportunity in front of them. You'll see why later on. Now, Goliad on the verge of winning its first district title in many years versus the London Pirates. London deciding to go deep and bombs it to the receiver, and he catches it down inside the 5-yard line. A couple plays later, they would just pound it in for the score, 7-0. The quarterback dropping back again. This time, he runs into a wall of Tigers, and the ball squirts out. Can they jump on it? No, the quarterback jumps back on it himself, and he's going to chunk it deep this time, but this time it is intercepted. Goliad coming up big on defense. And Lamont Franklin, this time he gets the ball running to his left-hand side, shaking off a tackle, breaking another one. Is he down? No, he's not. He's keep going to the corner of the end zone. It's too easy for him. He goes in for the score. The Goliad Tigers go on to win 34-29. Goliad will finish their season that's still in the fourth quarter, so anything could happen. London's still on their heels, but Goliad on the verge of winning its first district title in a while, and Goliad will take on the Palacia Sharks for its final game of this season. Well, coming back, we will have highlights from Victoria East and Cuero, so grab a drink and a snack, but don't go anywhere because, of course, we'll be right back. West did. Now we check in on the East Titans. Down in Corpus Christi, the East Titans and Veterans Memorial Eagles, both 4-1 in district play, so a potential battle for second place in district going on in Corpus. The Eagles going for it on a 4th and long. Braylon Vasquez comes up with the pick. The ball would be placed at the 3-yard line, but the Titans defense coming up big in this one, and offense tough to come by early on in this one. Start of the second. Veterans Memorial punching it in as Luke Moya scores on the 2-yard run, 7-0 Eagles. But, and you got to love the flag, guys. Got to love when they run out. But near the end of the second half, or the first half, Kaysen Coley finds Bryson Ortega, who takes it 59 yards. You're not catching him, number 16, as he goes into the end zone throwing his arms up. And they tie it up at 7 at halftime. And this one was a low-scoring game with Victoria East coming out victorious 14-10. Now they are second place into district, heading into the most important week of the year. And of course, that is East versus West for the Battle of the Boot. We will be keeping a track on that one. But also, West is still trailing Miller as of now. Still a few more minutes left in that game. I'll keep you updated as we go. Now, Smithville and Cuero battling it out at Gobbler Stadium. And it looked like it was going to be a little shaky for the Gobblers as this one goes in for the score. Cuero down early? I don't think we've ever said that on this show. But Mason Otaro, he's calm, cool, collected. He said, hey, I can do that too. This time to Dayton Varela, and they are tied up at 7. Cuero's defense says, all right, you got one score on us. That ain't happening again. They come up with a big fumble, and the big man, Hakeem Anderson, is rumbling, stumbling, fumbling his way into the end zone. Everybody wants to celebrate with the big fella. Even Kenneth Jackson, who jumps over his head and falls down. Don't worry, y'all. He's okay. He just took a little tumble, a little too excited there. But Cuero again to the air. Notaro to Varela. The connection is real, and the Gobblers go on to dominate this one, winning 69-28. Smithville would score a few more times, but they put the game away to stay undefeated. Cuero will take on LaGrange. It is still unknown if Cuero is going to win the district title because they still have a few more. LaGrange, I don't have the final on LaGrange just yet. But also, let's check out some scores from around the area, and of course, there's a lot of them. St. Joseph Flyers traveled to Austin and come up just short to the St. Michael's Crusaders, losing 28-21. The Flyers are still in playoff contention, but they're going to have to win next week if they want to make it. Next, we go to the Calhoun Sandcrabs. Calhoun Sandcrabs take care of business, winning 56-14 over the Rockport Fulton Pirates. They will take on Floresville to finish their season. The El Campo Rice Birds also get a victory, 27-17 over the Stafford Spartans. This one was big because El Campo clinches a playoff spot with this win, and it's been ugly all season for the Rice Birds, but they got it done, and they'll play Brazosport next week. The Oakham Bulldogs also take care of business, shutting out the Hempstead Bobcats 35-0. Yoakum and Howells will be going on, and that could be a potential, it would be a potential game of the week if it wasn't for East and West, but still, big game nonetheless. The Industrial Cobras 45-7 over the Palacia Sharks. The Cobras make the playoffs. The Sharks will take on Goliad next week. Then we go to Howellsville, and Howellsville, Hitchcock is really good this season, 54-22 over the Brahmas. Yoakum and Howellsville are going to battle it out for the final game of the season. The Tidehaven Tigers, ranked number 3 in the state, beat Bowling 48-7. Tidehaven will cap off its year, well, not year because they're going to playoffs, but the season against the Van Vleck Leopards. Then we go to Bloomington, who are still trying to fight for their playoff spot, but it looks looks like it won't happen. They're going to fall to the Three Rivers Bulldogs 51-16. Bloomington still has 4 wins on the season, so good job for them. They'll take on Skidmore Tynan in the final game of the year. Ganado, again, another shutout for their defense, 62-0 over the Skidmore Tynan Bobcats. This is big. Refugio and Ganado are going to battle it out for the district title. And we'll go ahead and go to the Refugio game because they took care of business as well, 54-0 over the Kennedy Lions. That's going to be so big. If Ganado can come out with a victory here with Coach Josh Irvin in his second season as head coach, heading into playoffs, we got a lot of big matchups going on in the Crossroads area. But also, Don teased it earlier in the show, the Yorktown Wildcats were losing 13-0, but rallied back and scored 44 consecutive points to make the playoffs for the second straight year. Yorktown on a roll. Then we go to the Gators. The Gators, unfortunate for them though, they lose to the Lutheran North Lions 63-14. The Gators have struggled quite a bit this year, but that's okay. It's their first year as a team, and they're trying to get chemistry going. They're trying to get a lot going on, and Coach Mark Chavez is trying to put his team together, but hey, they're still putting up points. They're still putting up a fight, but they could not come out with a victory, losing 63-14. And our last score, this one was from Thursday night. Get this, the Edna Cowboys had to reschedule their game to a Thursday because there wasn't enough referees in the area to cover all the games on Friday. So Edna said, all right, we'll just play on Thursday. And they go ahead and take care of business, winning 49-16 over the Mathis Pirates. Edna has secured a playoff spot, although they're going to have the Goliad Tigers to lose a game if they want a chance or a co-district title. But unfortunately, they lost to Goliad last week, and they are going to be stuck in that 2 spot heading into playoffs if Goliad takes care of business. But the Edna Cowboys are going to take on the winless Aransas Pass Panthers next week to finish out the regular season. Well, of course, that'll do it for this edition of Crossroads Football Live. West is still going on. We still got a few games going on that have about 4, maybe not 5, but about maybe a couple minutes left in those games. If you need scores or want to watch highlights, come to our website at crossroadstoday.com. We will have all that there for you. And, why not download our app? It's free. You can watch all the shows from week 1 all the way to week 10, and even next week, where we will have the game of the week. Like I said, Battle of the Boot versus East and West. Exciting one there. Well, that's it for Crossroads Football Live. Have a good one, Crossroads.